Hello, is anybody there? Hi, Michelle. Did this come through on my link to my scheduled event? Hello, is anybody there? Hi, Michelle. Did this come through on my link to my scheduled event? Perfect. Thank you, Michelle. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you joined us. We're just waiting for a few more people. Hi, Jessica. Perfect. Yeah, there's a delay on my end also, and I was working with that, and I wasn't able to bridge that delay where it's pretty significant. Well, good morning, everybody. So we've got Michelle, we have Nicole, and we got Jessica. I'm just waiting on a few more people that I know is going to be showing up before we get started. I'm so excited about doing this. We got a lot to talk about in our astrology forecast. So much is going on. So we're going to see how we can use these energies to actually propel us a little bit further in life, in our own personal life. So we're not so much being a victim um, in today's world, but rather taking charge. Good morning, Siobhan. Good morning, Janet. So, okay. Well, without delay, let's go ahead and just hop on to the forecast. Well, actually, before we get started, so this is new for me, so I'm sorry if it's a little bit mumbled jumbled. Good morning, Joyce. But what I'm going to start doing for my business, is going through the weekly forecast in astrology, so we kind of know what the energies are playing out in our life. One thing I do want to mention, that it doesn't matter if you're using tropical or Vedic sidereal. I do all of my readings and predictions off of the fixed stars, which go beyond the zodiac. And so any of these energies and all of these nakshatras I will be talking about is going to work with both tropical and sidereal. Now, the idea here is that we will be able to use these energies, kind of tap in, understand what the energies are playing at, because we're going to be able to see it in society. I mean, they're playing out exactly where the planetary alignments are perfectly. But what we want is to be able to take these own energies into our life and use them to propel us, to make our life better, to really gain control of these energies so they're not controlling us. Okay, so why don't we get into it? The moon. Now, the moon, of course, is the quickest planet that goes around our zodiac. Today, our moon is in Uttarabhadrapada. This is a nakshatra that is associated with Saturn. And our moon is conjuncting Mars. And Mars is in Ravati, but they're close enough in proximity where they're conjunct. So whatever is going on with Mars, our state of mind, our emotions, it's really going to affect our state of mind and our emotions and how we are seeing things, because our moon is our state of mind. It's how we view things. It's our perceptions. So whatever is affecting the moon is going to be affecting our on how we're looking at things and how we're talking with people, what emotions are being triggered in our life. So I'll let you know right now, Mars is angry. And you can see this playing out even in society. Mars is in the nakshatra Ravati, and this is about it's a complete integration between our basic urges and our outward expression. It's an impulse of dissolution, and Mars is really, really angry about what is going on in our society and the things that we're dealing with. He's our soldier, right? He's going to be the one to go out there and fight. And he's in such a good place to be that soldier and to go out and fight. However, with it conjuncting the moon, that's really going to play out in our emotions. We're going to be ready to fight. We're going to be ready to maybe speak out and be angry. Do you see how that kind of works together? How that energy of Mars playing out on our state of mind. And so we may react or respond in a way that we will regret later. As we get further along in here. So now let's get to the sun, our next quickest planet. Now the sun is in a nakshatra and it's called Aslesha. This is our psychological factor of contradictory characters, if you will. So why it could be philosophical and thoughtful and self-reliant and a bit reclusive at times. It can also display crudeness and selfishness. Treachery type of events can happen from here. You know, sometimes somebody can react very venomously to us. Bearing humiliation is really, really difficult in this specific nakshatra. So what this means is that why this nakshatra is bearing some difficult placements, we can actually use this energy to be very self-reliant and very thoughtful in our approaches, in how we think, because it's a Mercury associated. Oh, good morning, Mamita. It's nice to see you. So anyways, well, okay, getting back to Aslesha, it's got a negative and a bad side. All right, a negative and a positive side. What we want to do is when we're feeling this venom, or maybe somebody's approaching us with something very distasteful, very venomous, we can process go above that, I guess. Process it in a more of a in a higher energy that will make us self-reliant, that will take it to a philosophical thought. Why are they reacting like this? Why are they saying this? Or why are you thinking this? Why are you reacting in such a way? It's all about our thought process. So we've got the moon, who of course is over there with Mars, who's angry. And now we got the sun sitting in a nakshatra that is Mercury ruled, which is our thought process. And if we can take what is being delivered to us in more of an approach, a philosophical approach, and go above our basic urges, or that basic, I'm angry, I'm going to fight, for my rights, or I'm going to fight for my cause and what I believe in, that maybe we can see something a little bit different. Maybe we can come back not so angry. We can be firm, but maybe see the other people's point of view. Also, we've got Mercury that is conjuncting the sun. And what happens when a planet conjuncts the sun, it gets burned up. And what that means is that instead of Mercury working independent, it becomes and acts more like the sun. So, and again, Mercury is as how we process the information. So we may get confused. We may become egotistical in how we're going to be processing a lot of this information. And one thing I do want to say, you guys, is that Mercury's in Pushya Nakshatra, and that really has to do with our children. So really be careful over how we're communicating with what we're hearing from our children, and give our children a little bit more leeway, because their communication may be just a little bit off. It's just the energies that are playing. So be a lot more sensitive. Don't react in anger. Because right now, where the world is standing, especially the USA, we're looking really at going into possibly a civil war by November. These energies are really strong. And as I get into the outer planets, I will let you, you guys will understand a little bit more on why I say that looks like we may be going into a civil war, maybe even martial law. Hi, Kelly. It's so great to see you. Thank you for coming on in. Okay, so we got the sun, the moon, the Mercury. So let's go into Venus. Okay, so right now Venus is in Mrigashira, and this is ruled, this nakshatra is associated with Mars. And where is Mars? Mars is in Revati, and he's angry. He's ready to fight. He's at a what we call a Gadanta point. So Venus is going to be demanding that her happiness is met. Venus is our point of happiness, and she's going to be wanting to seek moksha here, manifestation with Soma. Soma is the elixir. So people are wanting an answer, and they're wanting a cure. They're wanting to be done with this disease. They're wanting to be done with this lockdown. They want to be able to go out and celebrate and to have fun with their friends and their family. And right now, Venus can't. Hi, Anna. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining. So we're just talking about Venus. Now, Venus in Mrigashira, it has its positive points, and it also has its negative points. So with this being in a Mars-ruled nakshatra, We can also be working with people having obsessive behavior. So watch out for people getting obsessed with individuals, either you becoming obsessed with somebody or somebody else becoming obsessed with you. A lot of times when I'm working with Migashira and Venus and Mars, stalking can occur. But again, this is we can use this energy um, for something that's really good and positive in our life. So instead of it taking us into, I'm going to drink and have a good time, I'm going to go smoke, because it is conjuncting Rahu, which is our addictions and our obsessions also. We can turn inward and really look for that elixir of life, something with a higher positive vibration. So, and what can that look like? Instead of drinking, how about meditation, going inward? Rahu is sitting here with Venus, which again is going to bring in that obsessive type of behavior and really wanting to be happy, but also finding the cure. Something about Mrigashira is our cures for our diseases is found in this nakshatra. This is the elixir. The soma is the elixir that is associated with a medical deity in the Vedic Hindu mythology. So I think at this point is when we are going to end up having a cure. Whether you want to take the shot or not, of course, that's up to everybody's individual beliefs, wants, and or needs. But a cure will be coming out for the coronavirus. Now, what we're also going to be seeing in the following week is Venus is going to be moving into the nakshatra of Ardra. Now, Ardra is ruled or associated with Rahu, and it's a teardrop. This is when our perception of reality becomes destroyed in this nakshatra. And if you go back in time, you're going to see when Rahu is in this nakshatra, a lot of really terrible things happen because, right, the opposite of Rahu is, of course, Ketu. So when Rahu is in Ardra and Ketu is in the Mula, that's when you see these diseases come out. And in fact, the coronavirus came out when Rahu was in Ardra. President Kennedy was shot when Rahu was in Ardra. The Twin Towers, 911, Rahu was in Ardra. So Ardra is all about destruction and destroying. Mula, again, is a very violent war type of nakshatra. The higher vibration of these nakshatras is all about the dissolution of our realities, pulling them out, realizing that maybe we're not seeing things clearly. So it's all about the mind being the destroyer of illusion and ignorance. And this is when we come in and really pull out the root cause of things in our life that's causing us so much heartache and so much sorrow. It's not an easy thing. It's extremely difficult, but it's needed at the same time. We need to destroy our self-illusions so we can see things for how they really are, not how we want them to be. Going into some of our outer planets. So let's start with Saturn because he bridges. Actually, let's go to Jupiter before Saturn. So we know that Jupiter is retrograde. So it's going over very specific degrees. Again, right now he's in Purva Ashada, which is in a nakshatra that's associated with Venus. This is about discovery of new possibilities, but it's also the unknown and unexpected coming out to the light. It's about hidden knowledge that's going to be revealed. I think this is important placement in society, because that's really going to help us bring out the elixir, the soma, or the cure, the medicine for the coronavirus. But in our own life, we're going to be able, in our own life, how it's going to manifest. It's coming out. Oh, yeah. Yes, Shavane. Yes, it makes sense. I have Sun in Mrigashira in the 8th house in my natal chart. Venus and Rahu is making me delusional. Yes. Um, I get that. It's a hard placement, but Shavane, in your chart and in the 8th house, it's all about you really digging deep into the secrets of life, right? Finding those cures, because the 8th house is kind of associated with our root chakra, and it's going really, really deep, and finding, going through that delusion to see the reality of the situation. So you have a really good placement for your Sun. So yeah, so back to Jupiter in retrograde here. So Jupiter, as I said, is in the Purva Ashada, a Venus ruled nakshatra. So this is really going to be able to expand the research and the new possibilities of the new elixirs or cure for the virus. But at the same time, Jupiter rules our dharma, our divine law. So anything that is corrupt, it's going to bring it out either in our personal life or out in society. So anything that is deceit, and especially in our government, anything that's being done in deceit, all this corruption's coming out now. In our own life, we're going to be able to find justice. If we have been battling, like maybe in a court of law, something that is morally incorrect, and we've been battling it, I've already seen things about it coming out on the righteous side, on the right side of the law, for people who've been in court and been battling with things that have been unjust, where the truth has actually been revealed. Because you guys, even though we go into a court and we listen, and the judge listens to both parties, you're in court because somebody's lying. And not all the time the truth comes out or the truth wins over. A lot of times it's whoever is the best liar. So, Jupiter being retrograde in this nakshatra gives us a chance to relook at things in our life that may not be true. That's going to pop up, or we're going to see new possibilities. But, when it's going to be working in our relationships, look at your relationships and see if you haven't had a theme of digging for the truth and finding the truth in them. Even though you may not like it, the truth is going to come out. But in order for there to be a healing and for you to go above and beyond where you're at in life right now, you've got to uncover the truth. Thank you, Joyce. I will definitely be doing more live. um, it's just, it's really about going into the details of where these planets are really playing out their story. And it's the nakshatras. So, and I got more. So now we got Saturn. Here's the interesting, Saturn is retrograde, really, really strong. And he's in Uttarashada, which is right next to Jupiter retrograde. Okay. Now, one thing that Saturn does rule is he is the god of justice. And he rules people. So it's whatever is happening between the government and the people is where we're going to see Saturn manifesting. And he is right next to Jupiter retrograde, which means that the government, all of the lies and the deceit, they're starting to be exposed. And they are being exposed in a way that people are getting angry, because you got Mars in a very angry position in Ravati. He's mad and he's angry. And our Mercury right now is over there in Pushya, ready to go into in not Ardra, excuse me, into Ashleisha. We're tired of the lies and the dissolution of what media is sending to giving us. So we're going into a massive reconstruction of our government system. So our this Saturn rules our root chakra, by the way. So all of our personal defenses are being broken down. Our very personality, even here in America, but in our very life, is being broken down. It's being shaken. So we are feeling that fear. We're going almost like into a survival mode. And if we can really ground into our root chakra and find that safe place, that change is happening, our very government is changing. But ground in, to know who you are. This is where meditation really helps out. If we can look into our root chakra, look into our heart, and know, okay, this is what's going on right now. What am I going to do? Because we need to stop depending completely on the government. The government does not have the answers for our life. We have the answers. And as soon as we become independent in our thought, independent in our beliefs, all right, we take control over our life. Hello, Kachal. It's nice to see you. Thank you for joining. And Kelly is saying yes. So this is what Jupiter and Saturn is asking. He is pulling for our personal lives, taken away from the collective, but our personal life. It's about breaking us and shaking us free from depending upon the government for our livelihood. This is all about essential human relationships, which depend upon empathy for their endurance. So we can really gain mental and spiritual power here if we ground ourselves into that root chakra and become that independent of thought. We need to quit depending upon the government. And we're going to see this. We're going to continue to see the deceit and the lies and the way that the government has been manipulating and using the people. And what it's teaching us, though, you guys, it's a beautiful thing, actually. Again, it's teaching us to be independent. We don't need to be depending upon anybody else but ourselves. We create our own life. Now let's get a little bit into the outer planets, past Saturn. Let's start with Neptune. Let's see where our Neptune is. I got my notes up here. Now Neptune is in Purva Bhadrapada, and it's a Jupiter associated nakshatra. So remember, we just got done talking about Jupiter being retrograde, and it's in a specific nakshatra that is going to be able to reveal lies and deceit. Neptune is being affected by Jupiter. So if Jupiter's retrograde and is exposing that deceit with in our lives or out in public, then Neptune on the lower base sense is that deceit. Sometimes Neptune can really put over an illusion wherever it's placed. And it's in, again, Purva Pada. It urges the individuals to fight with a missionary zeal on behalf of the goal. So it's fearless approach combined with anguish and sorrow. So whatever Jupiter is exposing there in all of that deceit within our lives or within the government, Neptune, we can use Neptune to really pull it to a higher level, to go above the anguish and sorrow that we're going to feel, because it's true, we are feeling the sorrow. We can't say it's not there. We feel it, we see it, what's going on. You could just turn on the news. All right. The news right now is playing part of that illusion. It's making things worse than what it is, but it's also driving people's emotions to somewhere that's not real, that's not true. And so they're wrapped up in all of this illusion which is trying to hide what's really happening in people's lives or what's really happening in our government lives. But on a personal level, what's going on in your life, that's an illusion. That's deceitful. Are you deceiving yourself, or do you have somebody in your life that's deceiving you? I would grab a hold of this energy with Jupiter and Neptune. And again, it comes back to finding that quiet spot and meditating, making sure that you're grounding into Saturn so you're strong in your root chakra, so you're not feeling that fear. And what is it that you want to go after with zeal? Or have you been going after the right goals? So it's a good time to really kind of check with yourself and with that higher self on what your goals are. Do they need to be changed? This is a great time to change them. I'll let you in on a little secret. Anytime that Saturn goes retrograde is a perfect time to relook at any contract, especially long-term ones that you got, to see, does it still work for you? Do you need to change it or break it? Because we're allowed to do that, especially when Saturn is in retrograde. It's all about relooking at that those contracts, the contracts that we have with the government, the contracts that we have with ourselves, the contracts that we have out in public, especially, and our duty that we have in public. Maybe it's time to switch careers, go somewhere different with your public service. Now, Pluto plays a very interesting part with Saturn and with Jupiter. He's right in between these planets. And Jupiter and Saturn with Pluto is really triggering a lot of the ugliness that's been going on in our government that you see. You're looking at like sexual abuse, the pedophiles, Me Too movement, the sexual abuse. You can see these themes come out, and that's because Pluto is there. Pluto is associated with the 8th house in Scorpio. And what is the 8th house in Scorpio? It's all about those sexual desires. Again, it does have, everything to do with the reproductive organs. so we're seeing themes of that coming out in the government. It's all over the media. They've been hiding all of this. But again, this is a good time to really look at yourself, going down into that root chakra. How can you become self-empowered? Because Pluto is a really powerful planet. So if we ground into that and take that self-empowerment for ourselves and in our own life, would be absolutely amazing launching forward as when Jupiter and Saturn starts going forward again. It's taking that self-empowerment back, feeling empowered with your life. What are you doing in your life? These are victory. You know, the Uttara and Purva Ashadas are the early and the later victory. So really grounding into these nakshatras and and that root chakra will later really empower you and bring you to a victory that you never thought before in your life, depending, of course, on where they're at in your chart. K2 is in Mula, and I know I hit on this a little bit earlier. Mula is all about ruthless action. It's all about annihilating our past proclivities. It's ruthless action. It's passion of carnal indulgence, and if resisted, an intense opposition from passionate nature arises. The nature is violent and cruel. The mental balance is disturbed here. But again, this is where Rahu and Ketu, these are the nakshatras where a lot of wars and things happen out in our society. But look at your own life. So if Ketu is going through Mula nakshatra, it could be on one of your planets or aspecting one of your planets. And this is a good opportunity to get in there with aggressiveness and clean out those habits and beliefs that you don't want in your life anymore, that doesn't serve you. This is how we can use the energy, is if we point to these harsh energies and we point them inward to ourselves. This is when we can really clean out those negative beliefs. And it makes way for new beliefs, our true authentic self. Because you guys, come on, most of the stuff that we have been told and raised up in are not true. We were raised up in an environment that our parents were told a certain way, how to live, how to believe, and they passed it on to us. And it doesn't mean that it's true. This is all about us taking all of this anger and this passion and the survival mode and this fear and going inward to find our true selves. That's how we can use this energy. Controlling those emotions and changing those very emotions and feelings in your life that does not serve you. Anger or fear doesn't serve you. Illusion doesn't serve you. Find out what's true for you. Don't let anybody else ever tell you what you need to believe in or how you should believe. You got to find that out for yourself. And I could probably go on and on when I start talking about astrology, and I'm trying to go and so keep it within an hour, but I'm telling you guys, there's just so much to say within these nakshatras and how they're unfolding. But one thing I do have to say for as far as the mundane and the collective, you guys, Jupiter's retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Mars is angry. These, as a collective, people who do not have control over their emotions and don't have control over those feelings and their state of mind are going to be easily controlled by the media. And media, Neptune rules the media. And right now they're spinning so many lies and getting people fueled up in the wrong directions where we're really not paying attention to how we can change ourselves and going inward. So they're busy getting angry at everything that they have no control of in the first place. The government loses control when we gain control over our own life. People who have got a strong state of mind right now are not affected by these circumstances that are happening in our world. They're not affected by the coronavirus because they're literally controlling their own life. They're probably off on some island meditating because this never affected their finances. This never affected their state of mind because they know where they're going in life. They know who they are and they know where they're going. And that's where we need to go to. That's the way that we need to be every day in our life. Every day we need to know what we're doing and where we're going. Not to waste it in front of the TV, not to go and start drinking and wasting our time roaming around on Facebook and getting all hyped up with all of this emotion that's not going to help us or serve us in the long run. And that's what Jupiter and Saturn's asking for you in your personal life right now. Break that contract with the media. Rethink it. All right. Look at how it has spun the illusion and the lies and has controlled your own thoughts. You've let somebody else control your own thoughts for way too long. Now it's time for you to take control over your own life. The elixir is coming. The soma is coming for the coronavirus. Yes. But you guys, what's our own elixir? What's our own elixir means, medicine. What is our own medicine? What is your medicine for you? It's probably eating healthy, but maybe we need to dig and research in our own life to find our own elixir. Now, there's a few things that I want to say, you guys, within weather. Okay, so we got these points in the charts. They're called the Gadanta points, and it's going from water to fire. Okay, so we have a couple of really important things here. One, Rahu and Ketu is at the Gadanta point, from going from being Ketu going in from excuse me, I apologize. Ketu is going from a fire sign into a water sign in sidereal, okay? But this works for everybody's chart. Because remember that we've got the fixed stars that's working behind the scenes. So let's not too much go into the particulars of the zodiac signs, all right? But what we do know is that they are at a Gadanta point. This is going to cause earthquakes. This is going to cause floods, fires. We're going to feel like we're drowning. Mars going from a water sign into a fire sign. We are going to feel like we're drowning in our emotions, but at the same time, you're going to see it manifest out in our weather. We're going to see all over the world destruction like we've never seen before. This is going to be a really difficult time. On top of that, we've got the coronavirus, and in the USA, but other countries, not just the USA, are going through their problems also, you guys. It's not just the United States of America. It's every other country on brinks of war, the arguments, how their economies are not doing well. They're feeling unrest in their populations. It may be in a different way, but I promise you, it's not just the US that's having such a difficult time. So just be prepared for this, because it's going to happen in the United States the day of election in the USA. Mercury is stationed and it's going retrograde. So we're not going to find out who's president. The chart's just not set up for it. I would not be shocked if we do end up around November having some type of civil war, civil unrest, or maybe even martial law break out. It's in the energy, you guys. It's in the energy that is playing out in our sky. But I'm telling you guys, bank on this energy, go inward on it, use it to propel yourself and your life into a complete state of independence. Ground right into this energy. So while everybody else is out there in chaos and angry and they're fighting, which does nobody any good. It just does it. It just causes destruction. Go inward and use it to propel yourself into a new life of complete independence. That's what you can do with these energies. As difficult as they are, you may feel like you're drowning, and if you do, that's okay. That means just go into meditation. Why do you feel like you're drowning? That tells me it has something to do with your root chakra. What are you in fear of? It tells me that you've got a false belief somewhere and that you're not living to your truest and highest form and completely in independence. Okay, so for my first live, I think that's it. Is there any questions that anybody has? Are you guys still here? If you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But if not, I am going to be going live again on Monday. It's not going to be exactly in the same format because I'm going to be discussing let me see, Monday. What is my Monday? I forget. Oh, thank you, Jessica. I'm going to be discussing on Monday, starting my series on what astrologers get wrong when reading charts. Because sometimes we are really looking at things on the outside of ourselves when we can tap these energies into our own life to take control of our own life. And sometimes we don't see that. It's like, how can we use these energies? If Saturn is causing you problems in your chart, then exactly what feeling is Saturn giving you? But of course, that's for my Monday. That's for my Monday morning presentation. Also, after next week, I'm going to be doing a daily morning forecast for the moon, just so that we can get a good idea on what our day is going to be like, what may be unfolding for us, so we're prepared for it, so we can respond in a really good way that is uplifting, even if it's a negative event, that we can take control of it and rock it in our own life to propel us again towards something that is more independent. And I just want to thank everybody for being here and have a happy Venus Day. Friday is ruled by Venus. So may everybody be happy. Maybe grab a slice of chocolate cake and not too big of a slice, moderate it. But have a beautiful Friday, and thank you guys for showing up. Bye-bye.